There we
Oh my God.
go.
Here we go.
It's
Grab
happening.
your joysticks and dance like no one's watching, because no one probably is. And this is the Third Wheel Arcade, episode 8. Episode 8 is weird to say still because it feels like we've done a lot more than 8 episodes already. I don't even understand.
Yeah, that might be it. I mean, I think I was gonna when we were doing the docs and stuff, I found out how to put 69 in binary. So that's gonna be our next title of
Okay.
our next doc that I do. It was like 0B100101. So that's what it needs to be up on the YouTube
There are
channel.
no B's in binary, though.
I'm just saying, I put 69 in Google and it said this is what it is in binary because I'm a child.
All right. Well,
So-
welcome to Third Wheel Arcade, live
Hey.
streaming gaming podcast, live on YouTube every Friday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. You can come in and join in the chat live, have a little fun, and you can watch later if you want. But it's fantastic to be here live. And here, coming from Kansas #1, is my co-host and yours, Dan Rodriguez.
Hey everybody, I got 15 fucking panels open up on this fucking screen. I can't see what the hell's going on. Oh my God, what the fuck, man? Okay,
And over
it is.
there, and you're in Kansas, right?
he's
I'm
like
like
10
I'm
miles
like
from
10
me.
minutes away from where Dan's sitting right now.
That is
Yeah.
a exaggeration. It's like an hour and a half. It seems like so long when I go to your place. But yeah, it's just because he lives out in the sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm here. What's
Well, it
going
gives you plenty of time to think of great character ideas for our show
And eat
and eat.
catfish.
But yes, over there we have in Kansas #2 our Third Wheel second time
Second episode.
for last time I gave you a whole bunch of cool titles. I got to think of something cool this time. The King.
You announced me like Rocky at the beginning.
I know.
When he's about to fight. He had like 8 titles.
Yeah, the King of Season Gaming,
Ooh, I like that.
Ains.
This
Sun's
is not
out,
a
guns
dictatorship. Oh my God.
Everybody loves it. You gotta embrace it. Embrace.
I'm gonna get a chair and just hide under the table.
That
You're the
thing
most-
is badass.
Yeah, you're the most bashful, like, I don't know, fit person I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God, no. No,
No?
I am not fit.
He's much more fit than I am.
And me. Yeah.
Speaking
Have
of, where's Darwin?
Yeah.
I know. Someone's here for Darwin. I locked him out of the basement, to be honest with you. So,
Shit.
He's the star of the show.
oh, I may have. Should I open the door and bring him back in?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least his ass.
At least his ass. Make sure you bring
Just
his
half
ass.
of them.
Yeah.
Just bring his ass. Really,
So,
what we're people are
Ains,
here
welcome
for.
back.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you.
Good to be back.
Hopefully we don't go too long tonight. Dan's a busy boy.
I've almost finished my beer and we haven't even started.
Well, we talked for half an hour before we started the show.
Oh, that's true.
So Ains, how you been? What have you been playing? Oh, before we start,
Yeah.
Ains posted an article that we don't want to delve too much into now. Go and read it on seasongaming.com.
Yes.
The article was unbelievable. The subject matter itself is tough to speak of, I'm sure. But even like I tweeted about it, but ignoring that, it's such a good article. And I really hope that you share it with your friends and all of their friends share it with their friends. Because I really feel like this is the kind of thing that could, I don't know, enlighten people to the good that gaming can do.
Thanks, man. Yeah. It was something I've actually been working on for a while. I started putting words down about it like 3 months ago. So usually when I write an article, I take a while. I'm just really picky with the way I write. So it can take me a good week or two with spending time each day to write an article. But on this one, I just kind of kept coming back to it. But it's the first article I've written in 7 months for the site, like core article. But it's been the feedback to it has been tremendous. It's gotten a lot of play already, a lot of comments, and I won't say him by name because I told him that it wasn't about that, but one of the heads of a major gaming organization actually reached out to me today and told me that I'm one hell of a writer and gave me some really nice compliments on it. So that just made my day. It made me smile. So knowing that someone like that in the industry recognized it too. So thank you.
Well, that is fantastic. So yeah, please go check it out for real. Anyway, what have you been playing?
So we were doing Ashen for Backseat Gaming. So I after we filmed that, I finished that game 100%ed it basically, and that was really good. Of course, I know we're going to talk about Souls-like games, but that's a Souls-like. I know Dan loves it. He's going back and playing it right now, I think. But no, after that, I was saying that Resident Evil comes out in a week today, actually, right? A week after today. And then we've got a whole bunch of just ridiculous AAA games coming out over the next couple months. So in the couple weeks after finishing Ashen, I was just trying to play some cleanup. So playing a little Astrobot on my PSVR.
Nice.
Really want to get through that and Moss because they're both awesome and I just haven't spent enough time on them. I was playing a bunch of Celeste earlier today. Actually, we were talking about that. So I'm really enjoying that. I definitely agree with you. When you talked about the soundtrack previously, I hadn't played it yet, but man, that soundtrack is awesome. So loving that. And 2D platforming is just right up my alley, as you guys know. So, and then that's mostly it. Other than that, I mean, just stuff I've been playing. PUBG. I play a ton of multiplayer. So PUBG, Battlefield, Call of Duty, all those major games.
Real quick, how's the PUBG experience been? I haven't played PUBG in almost a year now, probably.
Well, you'd be surprised if we went back to it.
Really?
It has been improved a ton. And this Tuesday, the 22nd, I think it is the fourth map, Vikendi, which is amazing. Bert and I from SG over there have been playing it on the test server. Really, really good map. The updates are really strong as well, and they're finally adding the graphical setting updates to the Xbox One X and PS4 Pro.
Oh, good.
So you can tune down the textures, and up the frame rate. But no, it's great. I love that game. It just keeps getting better, and in my opinion, it's still the best battle royale. I've played a ton of Blackout. I don't want to talk about Fortnite. I've played H1Z1. I've played DayZ. PUBG is still the best in my opinion.
Good.
Nice.
Did you guys see the news about the Celeste DLC that's coming out?
Yes, I did.
What?
Yeah, and it's free too.
Hold on. I literally just pulled my headphones out of the socket. So somebody say something about Celeste DLC for a second, and I'll just jump in like I've been talking the whole time.
Okay, so it's going to have a few extra levels. If I remember correctly, there's not going to be any strawberries to collect.
I thought there was.
Okay, maybe I'm not remembering correctly. It's only one beer. I don't know.
No strawberries.
But I know it's free. I know it's coming early this year, and I forget it's Matt, right? The guy who runs that studio.
Yeah, Matt Thorson.
Yeah. I saw his post about it. I forget the other details.
You're right. No strawberries.
Yay! I'm not drunk.
Not yet.
Not yet. Give it time. It's early. Very early.
Damn right.
I love that a game that, I don't know, they could certainly use the money. I know it sold plenty of copies and it's a huge indie game, but they're not a huge studio. Like they could certainly use that money to I don't know, have more money to develop their next game. And they've just decided that they're so happy with the support that they've received on Celeste that they're releasing an entire DLC pack for free. And I commend them for that. And I don't think I would be that good of a person.
I think it's a good thing. I'm always curious, because remember it's a game with gold right now on Xbox.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I played it. I mean, I was going to buy it anyway, but it just happened to be there. So I can imagine that's opened it up to millions more people. So yeah, I hope that at the very least, some people are, spreading more news about it, which is kind of getting the word out more.
Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot more on Twitter about it than I had in the last several months. When it initially came out, there was that explosion of, holy shit, guys, what is this game? And then it kind of tapered off. But literally, as soon as January hit and that game was free, Twitter exploded again with talk of Celeste. And it makes me happy to see that.
No doubt.
Dan, are you going to play Celeste? Is that what you've been playing? Is that what you're
I've
about
not
to
been
tell us?
playing Celeste.
It's got an assist mode.
I
It
know.
does.
All
We
right.
talked about this.
Yes, we know that I might at some point pick Celeste up and try it out, only because I heard the story was really good and the music was really good.
After you finish
Yeah.
Dark Souls 3.
Get to this kind of game shortly. What I have been playing, what is still pissing me off, is the new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe 1832.
You bought that port of a port of a port?
Yes, I did, because it's fun.
Yeah.
And it's stupid. It's a really good game. I've been playing a lot of that with the kids, and I'm still getting mad.
Why?
Because it's hard. No. There's times where you're sitting there and you're like, what? This is bullshit. And my son, 12 years old, he's like, well, you got to understand, Dad, that, the hit boxes are, actually this big. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, we were playing the regular Mario earlier, and the hit boxes, it's actually a box and not the actual figure itself. So you have to really take that into account. I'm like, I didn't even know this shit. I've been gaming for years. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? I said, so there's a box there? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh. Well, fuck this fucking shit.
And you remember how last time I told you there's a comment you make on every big cast that makes me question you being on the big cast?
Yeah, that's probably.
This is that moment.
Okay. I've also been playing Yakuza.
Really? That's new.
Yeah, it's just I had to take a little bit of a break. I haven't played a whole lot of anything really in the last week. It's been really busy at work, so I get home and I'm just like, ugh. But we're in the process of moving some shit around the house, and I'm gonna move all my gaming stuff into our living room, which is never used. So I'm just gonna move it up there, and my wife wants to redo the bedroom. So I've been kind of just pondering how this whole thing is gonna look. It's gonna look stupid.
There's nothing else you've been playing?
I'm trying to think.
Anything that you've recorded on a video?
Oh, fuck yeah. That fucking Resident Evil 2. Okay, so we do Backseat Gaming on Season Gaming. We shot our show yesterday. It published this morning. Yes?
Yeah.
And
yep.
I played the Resident Evil 2 demo. Not a whole lot of spoilers, but I did finish the game. I ran like a pussy. I do come off maybe as like super scared, but like inside I'm like holding it in as much as possible, and I start freaking out in a couple of places only because it got super overwhelming, and I'm just checking every corner, and I hate scary games, and it looked gorgeous. It looked really, really good. I can say a lot of good things about it, and if it wasn't that scary, I would probably play it. But like the trailer that you unlock at the end, that just pretty much solidified me never, ever picking it up again, which is unfortunate because it's another one of those games I'm going to miss out on because of my pussiness. So, but no shame.
So you did play it. Because here's what my fear was as soon as I saw that you were playing that.
Yes.
It's a 30-minute demo, right? Like it's 30 minutes no matter what. Right. I was afraid that you were just going to turn it on, walk into a corner, and let that shit sit for 30 minutes and say you did it.
Okay, so full disclosure, I played 6 minutes of it prior to our shooting it. But I basically, just for anybody that hasn't played it, this really isn't a spoiler. You're in this police station, and there's a big like hallway, or a big hall. And I ran around there for like 6 minutes. The other 40 seconds, I started entering the area that you're supposed to go to. I literally stood up because you crawl under this little door, and I stopped playing. I didn't see anybody. I didn't see anything except for blood and dark, and
blood
for me to say. Yeah, just like my old sexcapades in the earlier years. So bad memories. So I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I made it through. Go watch it right now on YouTube. Season Gaming.
Not right now.
Gaming. After this show,
yes,
you should definitely watch it.
Literally, the second we close out the show, I'm going to watch it. I've been wanting to watch it all day, and I haven't had a chance.
That's what you should do.
So Diego he actually turned the moment when you first encountered the zombies into a GIF that is just hilarious because you're just swinging this gun around and like running and missing every shot. Oh man, it's timeless.
It is. Thanks. not only are my weak, I don't know. I can't play scary games. Then my true gaming style and my prowess or lack thereof comes out, where I'm starting to shoot everything but the zombies. So, yeah, this is why I don't play games.
Oh, and you're gonna see that when he first sees all these zombies and starts running and screaming, I literally lose it. Like I cannot stop laughing. I couldn't even speak.
I don't know where they all came from. I didn't see what's the problem. Okay, well, if I passed that guy, maybe it's like, oh yeah, he was there on the ground. I probably should have put a bullet in his head. I wasted so much ammo on dead people that were all dead, like all the way dead, because I was afraid they would come back and like kill me. So
but you did finish it.
I did.
So
I don't know. I missed probably 90% of the content.
Yeah,
but yeah,
overcome your fears. You're good.
I'm not sure I did that.
I'm about to end this call and just watch it.
Don't do that. We're
all
good.
Right. Speaking of Blood and Dark, let me talk about what I've been playing. First, Ains, it's funny that you say that. I feel like you were watching my tweets, that, or sometimes we have kind of half a brain that we share. I wanted to go back and do some cleanup before I did some other things. I went back and I finished Astrobot.
Nice.
And I platinumed it.
Nice. Is it how's the platinum? Difficult?
It's not bad. The only grindy one at all is you have to unlock all the toys in the playset room. So you need to get a bunch of coins for that and go in there and play that claw machine over and over and over.
Crane.
Yeah, but I mean, you can get that trophy in about an hour. So other than that, most of them you get as you play. If you're the kind of person that I am, where you have to get 100% every level as you play. Like I have to get all the bots as I play, have to get all the chameleons as I play, and then you go back and you play all the challenge rooms. A few of the challenge rooms made me want to throw my controller, but most of them were okay. But there were 2 or 3 of them where you have to like time attack, finish the level in under a minute, and I would get like a minute and 3 seconds and just couldn't figure out how to shave 3 seconds off. But other than that, it was really good. I also went back and finished Mark of the Ninja Remastered. That's a fantastic game. I'm never going to go back and get the platinum because you have to play it a million times and play it a million different ways, but it's a great game. My fiance Tanya and I finished Night in the Woods, and that game is so good.
I've heard it's excellent. Yeah.
If you
is that the one with the bear on the front?
Yeah. Well, it's a cat, but yeah, they are like little.
What? You sure it wasn't the bear?
No,
what am I thinking of?
No, you're thinking of. She kind of looks like a bear.
It's a big fucking cat.
Yeah,
it's not a bear. What the hell are you talking about?
Maybe we're talking about something different.
Totally different game.
Night in the Woods is like a third-person isometric indie game, right?
Yeah, it's an indie game.
Okay.
Dan, you probably wouldn't like it.
I know I wouldn't.
But it is good.
No bears.
I think there are bears.
Oh, well, maybe I like it.
It's kind of that Oxenfree and Life is Strange bullshit. I know. Hold on. I hated both of those games. I hated Life is Strange. But you're basically walking through this town. You're this girl that comes home from college and left college early, and she's just getting to know everybody again and finding her place in the town. I know, man. I know. And she kind of is learning a lot about herself along the way, Dan.
Yeah, I don't care.
Where does the blood in the dark come in?
Yeah, where's the blood in the dark?
That comes in the next game I'm about to talk about.
Oh.
Well, there's some dark spots in the game. There's a darker undertone that you're trying to solve that's unraveling as you play this game. But really, the what shines the most in this game is the conversations you have with people. They really felt like these were people that you were getting to know and becoming friends with. It didn't seem like bullshit, trite, contrived conversation. It was, I felt like these are conversations I've had with my friends. And then, when people would say things that were funny, it would be believable and it would make me laugh out loud. And then when people would say things that were dark and deep, it would make me think, shit, I've had those conversations with friends too. But Dan, I'm sure you think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's really good. My fiance Tanya said that I should stream the entire game and do all the voices for the characters as I play. And I wouldn't have any friends left if I did that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be funny though. I'd watch it.
I probably would.
I think people would enjoy it and then never speak to me again in real life.
That might be more likely.
And I started playing for real. I've started it a couple times, but haven't spent more than half an hour into it. Bloodborne.
Nice. Great game.
I've put a few hours into it already, and I've only beaten one boss.
But remind me, I know Dan doesn't like them. Are you a Souls game fan or no? Or
I've never played them, and it's not because I don't want to. It's not because I have an aversion to them. It's not because I'm a pussy and afraid to play hard games.
Was that a reference to Dan?
It might be. And very soon, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a conversation about that.
We will.
I put about 2 hours into it the first night I played, and you're just trying to get the hang of the mechanics as you begin playing, and all of these low-level bullshit enemies are just killing you, and it was driving me crazy. And I spent about 2 hours, finally got to this bridge, and I was like, all right, I've got to be near a save point, right? Like,
Where you fight the wolf?
Yeah. I have to be near the save point. And I was, spoiler alert, but I didn't find that out for a few nights because I immediately got mauled by these 2 giant wolves that killed me, and I had to go all the way back to the beginning.
Bullshit. That's what that shit is. Let me tell you something. All right. So, unpopular opinion segue.
Unpopular Dan opinion.
Well, it's probably a more common opinion than most people with that. So all games should have a difficulty option, and Souls-like games suck balls. So I will explain to you my statement and my thought process on this. So I look at games like Bloodborne, which looks awesome, and I'm not taking away what these games could be, but I'll never know what they are because I can't play them. All right. We all know we've got, hundreds and hundreds of games sitting there on our backlog, and Dark Souls, I have all 3 of them. I've played through the tutorial on Dark Souls. I got to the bonfire. I remember this pretty distinctly. And there's a ghost there, right? After the tutorial, there's a ghost there sitting on a log or something at this bonfire. First game.
Bad guy?
Only if you piss him off, which I did, and then he killed me. And then I came back to him, and he killed me again. I'm not sure what the fuck I did wrong.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I've started the first Dark Souls for like 4 times, and I don't even know what you're talking about by a ghost.
Okay. Or I don't know what the fuck he is. Okay, so you finish your tutorial level, right? And then it does some kind of cutscene, and you end up in this place by a bonfire. That's where you start.
Yeah.
There's a guy sitting there, or somebody.
Were you playing in online? Was it a PvP encounter?
No, because he talked to me like through some kind of dialogue option.
Oh,
and so I was like, all right, whatever.
Well, did you hit him?
Yes, I hit him because I thought
you're not supposed to hit him.
Don't do that.
Shit. Okay, so eventually his aggro subsided, and for some reason, just arbitrarily, and I was able to go out 20 feet where I got killed by a skeleton.
Yep.
Because I didn't know what I was doing. All right. So fuck that game. There's no reason to make a game so difficult that it alienates such a large portion of your audience, either it being people who are terrible at video games, me, or old people, me,
you,
or people that have lost all their reflexes, me. Because I think, I haven't played through it, so I don't know, but I think there's probably a good story somewhere in there, or at least something that I want to explore, but I can't because I don't, I could probably eventually get through it, but I don't have 3 weeks to dedicate, 8 hours a day to a game that I'm going to get killed by, 1,000 times over. I played Dark Souls 3. I didn't even play 2 because I heard it was the hardest one, but I still have it. I heard it was super hard. So I get 3. I play it. I get to the first boss.
3 is amazing.
It looks great, right? Looks amazing. He kills me. I mean, in like 10 seconds. So I come back. I'm like, okay, I'll just come back. And, I wouldn't have lost a whole lot at that point. So I figured, okay. So it took me 2 years, but eventually I killed that guy in 2 years. That's how long it took me.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Didn't you feel accomplished?
No, because then I went past that. I killed a couple of people, and I ended up in this really weird room that people were talking to me. There was like maybe somebody made weapons. I don't know. I don't know what the hell is happening, but it all got super confusing as well. On top of the hardness, it was confusing. So the difficulty was just expounded upon by the amount of shit that they throw into this game that you're supposed to understand without hardly any kind of tutorial or like, yeah, hey, I make weapons. Here's the stats. There's 15 different kinds of stats for this fucking rusty dagger. I don't know what the hell this shit means. I don't know what I'm doing.
His name is Andre, by the way.
Whatever. I don't know what his name is. And that's as far as I got. No, actually, I lie. I got out of that place eventually. I found some door or something, and I walked down some stairs, and then I was destroyed. And then I was like, "Oh fuck that! I ain't going back that far." Even it was like 20 minutes. And I lost.
I hope you got out of there. That's just a home base.
Right. Yeah, that was apparently home base. All right. Whatever. The problem is they should have difficulty settings. So you look at Celeste, which I haven't played yet, but you have an option, weenie option, whatever it's called, where you can, not die maybe. I don't know what it is exactly. Okay.
It's
assist mode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whatever. Okay. I watched a little clip of somebody on Twitter today playing, he said, 57 deaths later. How the fuck do you have time? Okay, it reminds me of like Super Meat Boy, which I kind of,
that game.
I liked it a little bit, but it got to the point where it's like, well, this is just a waste of time, and that's all you're doing is you're wasting valuable time that can be dedicated to a game that, you can actually enjoy the story and the gameplay and other stuff. And I understand different people have different, flavors or whatever, in games. I want to play these games, but I can't because I don't have time to dedicate to them. And that, maybe that's just an older guy's problem, but there's the kids, they have school. And then you've got people in their 20s who, maybe don't have a job and live in the basement. It's, I don't know, it's just
everybody
going off on a tangent here.
Yeah,
everybody says get good.
You're going off on everybody who likes Dark Souls.
I'm sorry, Dark Souls fans. I'm sure it's an awesome game. I just wish I could play it. And maybe it's just sour grapes. But you know what? No, because there's so many games that I like Ashen. I watch Ains play it. I don't have the patience for that shit. It looked cool. It might have been a good story. Some of it was bullshit, but some of it was actually pretty cool. And I just want to be able to play those kind of games and not get overly frustrated and maybe put 10 to 20 hours into it where, somebody like Ains could play. It takes him, 20, 30 hours or whatever it was. It'll take me double that. Right. And so I miss out on the whole game because of it. So difficulty option, it really seems pretty simple, like a very simple thing to put into a game. I play most of my games, no shame, on easy because I play it for the story and I want to enjoy the experience, and I can't do it. So fuck Dark Souls and Souls-like games and stupid platformers that just fucking, I died 97 times. LOL. No. Shut up.
Your list of games you are angry at right now is just growing.
It's growing. It's really expanding at a rapid pace.
Well, tell me, boys, why am I wrong? What would hurt to have a difficulty option in, say, Dark Souls or Bloodborne, which looks, let me tell you 1 second about that game. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing in that game. I walked around the first area and I couldn't figure out how to get out of it. I thought, okay, there's a puddle, press triangle or X or whatever. And I press X on it and it says, hey, you can dodge if you do this. Thanks. Okay. So I did all the puddles or whatever they are, and that was it. And I was like, well, I don't know where to go now. I don't even know what the gameplay is. I ain't even seen anybody. I literally walked around this graveyard and I can't figure out how to get out of it. So that's bad. That's bad news. So whatever.
I can't so much argue with that, because that's the reason I hadn't gotten into Bloodborne until now, because I played it and I walked around the city getting killed by monsters that were obviously extremely low level and couldn't figure out where to go, and I got frustrated. But I can see where you're coming from. And I've argued the point before that most games should have a difficulty level, because it does suck that games like Super Meat Boy, people can't get into and kind of see what the game is like. But at the same time, that is kind of the point of some of these games. For Bloodborne, for Dark Souls, for Super Meat Boy, the point of these games is to feel that endorphin rush when you finally get past that spot that you couldn't get past before. Cuphead's another one, where you're literally watching yourself progress little by little by little by little, and then you finally do it, and it's just like fist pump in the air. Like, if it wasn't difficult up until that point, I wouldn't be so excited to beat that point. So what's the harm in turning down the difficulty level? I don't think there's harm in it if you're the kind of person that's only going to get through it like that. But I feel like maybe these developers almost want to make sure that the me's of the world, I'm not great at video games, but I like the challenge. If I were to play these games and they had an easy mode, I might bump it down to easy to get through some of these tougher spots and not play the game they intended me, the way they intended me to play it.
Right. Okay. So let me tackle that in a couple of ways. First, I can get the endorphins by rubbing one out or eating like peanut butter Twix. It doesn't really matter. I get the same kind of feeling. So that's bullshit. Secondly, intended to play is dumb.
But hold on.
Have you understand what you're saying? Like, okay, this is how we intended it to play. Like literally, it'll say that on some difficulty options, right? It'll say, this is how this game is intended to play. I don't give two shits how it's intended to play. I want to play the damn game, and I won't be able to. And another thing, I know, like AIDS, I haven't, this is going to probably hurt. I know we've talked about this, but I've only played through Gears of War 2. I played them all to some point, okay? Right? But I played it on the lowest difficulty, like casual or whatever. Like, like Duke Nukem or not Duke Nukem. Whatever, yeah, filthy casual, right? So, like, you guys play on those much harder levels, and when you do like co-op, I'm going to miss out on stuff like that because with my friends now, because, that's fine. You guys are way better than me. Doesn't bother me. I still sleep fine at night. It doesn't, it is what it is. But, I miss out on some of that kind of stuff now because, there's no, just like try to make it the same for everybody, I mean, I'm not even for that kind of bullshit either, but it's just, I just want to enjoy something. Endorphins.
So I will say that as a huge fan of challenging games, I see where you're both coming from. My perspective is more Alden's in the sense that, like earlier, we were just talking about Celeste, right? I was playing the Pico 8 hidden game in Celeste, which that was hard. That was probably the hardest 2D thing I've played in a while.
And I think the assist mode doesn't work on that, if I remember. I might be wrong.
I don't use that pussy shit.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Check out my shoulder. Look at me. God damn it, Ains.
So I honestly don't know. But to Dan's point, right? While I was playing that this afternoon, I died 298 times.
Oh my God.
Because it tells you at the end when you beat it how many times you died in that little mini game. And Cuphead, who knows? But all those games are like that. But it is true in the sense, and Souls is the same way, even though it's a little different, where you will fight a boss 5 and 10 and 20 times. And I've actually fought some bosses in Souls. Actually, here's a good story. The most famous boss in Dark Souls 3 is not the Taken King. That's fucking Destiny.
Yeah.
God
might
damn
be.
it, I forget his name now. It's something with King. Nameless King. It's Nameless King.
Sure.
And in Dark Souls, you can call in people to help you, right? If you play online. And because I'm an asshole, I refuse to do that. When I played the game, I said I'm going to beat every boss solo, and that's what I'm going to do. And it took me, I'm not even joking, it probably took me at least 60 times, maybe 70 hours to beat him. But you know what? When I did, I think I actually jumped up, threw my controller down, and ran around the basement. Because you just get that rush, you finally accomplished it.
Yeah.
And so, but that kind of argues for both your points in the sense that Souls has that assist I could have used, or Celeste has that assist I could have used. But there is something to be said for just setting a game, designing it around a specific challenge, and saying, you know what? There's going to be a percentage of the community that can't play this. That's okay. There's millions of games to play. This one's not the one for you.
But wouldn't that hurt the devs in the long run?
Well,
don't you think they could sell more games?
So, because think of the reputation that Souls has now, and it has gained by being difficult. The whole get good thing is because of Souls.
Yeah,
that's true. I bet initially it does hurt, but as time goes on, it develops this kind of mystique and underground cult kind of status that draws more people to it than would have been drawn to it if it had been kind of a kind of hard game.
Even Cuphead. Cuphead's a one-off game, but look at the reputation it's gotten. And then what you get on top of that, if the designers build this game this way, is you have speedrunners, and it becomes a very famous game for speedrunners to really try and run through it. And there's this one-upping that happens, right? Then there's the who's got the bigger D thing where, I can beat it faster, I can beat it without getting hit or what have you. So I don't know. I don't think we'll ever see definitive data on that, but I would say there's probably an argument to both sides.
Yeah.
Before we move on, somebody went through the Celeste the other day and beat it in 28 minutes. What the fuck?
The whole game?
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Yeah, it's a world record. But anyway, did we change your opinion, Dan?
No.
Nope. I don't think my opinion's it's pretty rock solid. It's more fact.
Okay,
I'm fine with people. They like I said, different strokes, right? But I wish I could. And maybe it's just me being envious of being able to play some of these games, and it's not. I don't care about my skill level. I just don't give two shits. But I miss out on some of these games, and I end up having to play games like My Little Pony simulator and shit. So.
Yeah.
So Sekiro could end up being the same way, right? We talked
right.
about
Yeah. That. It bums me out because it looks so cool.
Yeah.
And
I get that. I do get that aspect for sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna go cry now.
All right. Well, Mortal Kombat 11. There's no way to. Speaking of difficult, dark and bloody games, Mortal Kombat 11. Who saw the reveal demo? Who's mad about it and upset that video games show blood sometimes?
Who's buying the $300 special edition?
Some dumbasses somewhere.
Huh? Who would do that?
I don't know.
I'm just joking. That's awesome though. It does look cool. Not even gonna lie.
I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. In my youth, as I'm an old man, I played tournaments of Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. Grew up in the arcades, playing those tournaments, going Friday, Saturday night, putting my quarter up and, making it last. And when Mortal Kombat 9 came out for Xbox 360 and PS3, that was like the rejuvenated when Mortal really came back. And I still have the arcade stick, the competition stick from that I still use just because it's really good quality. And MK11 looks just fantastic. I think NetherRealm's done a really good job since 9 between Injustice 1 and 2 and MK9 and 10. Between the story mode they built into the games, the new gear system that they added to Injustice 2, which is coming to MK11. They've done so much for the fighting game that they've left other companies behind, in my opinion. There's so much more to them now than there was when we were growing up, where you just either fight your friends or, fight online. There's just so much more you can do. You can dump hundreds and hundreds of hours into those games. I'm pumped for it.
Yeah, I don't play fighting games, but it looks so badass. Mostly because I'm not good at them. I have a friend that when Injustice 2 came out, he's like, "Oh man, I got to get this. You know, I don't have the money to do it right now, but you know, we need to play together once I get it." I said, "I'll buy it for you and we can play. You know, you can show me how this shit's done." No, he just beats the shit out of me every single time. I'm like, this is not making me better. This is pissing me off. You know, so I was like, whatever. So I played the single player part of that game, and it was really fun. You know, I enjoyed the comic book aspect of it. You know, not as bloody as, you know, Mortal Kombat. Well, I don't give a two shits what it looks like as far as blood goes. But, you know, the new one, all the stuff I saw on that looks really, really cool. The graphics look amazing. Just the fatalities and the it was badass.
A lot of fake outrage on the internet about those fatalities right now, right? Like,
really?
Is there?
Yeah, there is a bunch.
What the
There's
fuck
a
is
bunch
wrong
of people
with people?
complaining
It's
about
probably all the people I've blocked.
Yeah,
Probably,
what
yeah.
happened.
You can punch somebody's face off, and why aren't we complaining about that when we're complaining about other stuff? And this,
God.
Yeah.
what do you think it does to show that kind of violence to everybody? This is what
Let me
makes
tell you
gamers look bad.
If somebody could fucking go up to somebody, rip their face off, then rip their skull off, then impale them with a blade that comes out of their arm, and then eat it, you know, then you've got an argument. Until then, go back in your hole, piece of shit. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. It's a video game. All right.
We've been hearing this shit since Mortal Kombat 1 in the 90s.
Right.
Exactly, and I think that's what's the funniest thing to me is every time another one comes out, it's the same thing, except for somewhere along the line, and Ains, maybe you remember better than I do, but like 8 or 9 or some shit, one of the games was a little tamer than it had been, and everyone was up in an uproar about that because they were like, "Well, why did they dumb it down? What's wrong with them? Why can't they step up their game?" I'm just so tired of hearing people complain about everything. I can't even talk. I'm frustrated by it.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to them anymore, man.
Yeah,
nothing really gets me down. Just fuck those guys and gals and whoever it is and whatever. Yeah, I think it looks great. I love that. I love the fact that they are on a London reveal event streaming worldwide, millions and millions of people watching, celebrities in attendance, and they show like a 30-second fatality, which is the grossest thing you've ever seen. And then it just pans to Ed Boon, and he's just standing there smiling. I was like, that's so fucking awesome. Ed Boon's great. Mortal's great. I'm pumped for it. Although Ronda Rousey, we don't need her. Why? Why?
That's funny.
Sonya is a class. She's a Mortal Kombat 1 character, man. Like, just leave her alone. We don't need her to be impersonated by a shit celebrity.
That's my boy.
A lot of anger this week.
Yeah, I need another beer.
Yeah, go and get it.
But now I'm really, really excited for it. There was something I was going to say. Oh, I was talking about the arcade. One thing for old guys like me, when you used to play in the arcade and put your quarter up.
Yeah.
One thing they've done really well, NetherRealm, is that mode you can play online where it basically replicates that experience, right? So you have 8 people in a lobby. 2 people are fighting, the other 6 are watching, and it's just next person up. You're next. And it just rotates through. Yeah, they started that in MK9, and even in MK9 was really cool on the Xbox because you would go into the lobby, and while you were watching, you were your Xbox avatar, and you could like, you know, make emotes and hold up scores and do all kinds of shit while you were watching the actual game going on. It was amazing. But that mode is my favorite, man, because what's really cool about it, right? Like you were saying, Dan, you're not good at it. For people who aren't good at it, you go in there and yeah, you may play once every few matches and get your ass kicked, right? But you're learning because you're watching the people you're playing, the characters they're using, the moves they're using, their timing. And it's just like the old arcade. It's all about whoever puts in the most time is going to just get better and better. And I think that's really, really cool.
I feel like I'm so bad at that game that even in the lobby, I wouldn't learn shit. I would just be like, I don't know. They're doing a lot of stuff. I don't even know where to begin with that. I'm kind of in Dan's boat where I like fighting games. I like watching fighting games, and I like to fuck around with fighting games, but I'm so bad at them, and I'm not going to take the time to learn the combos and learn the block, break, throw, jump move.
It's a lot.
It is.
A lot. Like
And
It's an
because
18-page PDF for one fucking character.
No, and all you guys are laughing. And when MK9 came out, I had a group of friends that played it a lot. I had the tournament stake. I literally printed out sheets of moves, combos, everything for each character that I played, like Raiden, Sub, and I had them next to me and who I was playing, and I literally would just practice doing that day after day.
Nerd.
Yeah. What do you say?
I have too much that I want to play to dedicate the time to get good at that.
Does take time.
It's just
For sure.
I'd love to be good at them, but it really seems like you can only pick one to be good at. So you can't even be an enthusiast of all enthusiast. It works. You can't even.
Are you
be
too?
I wish I was. I need to be. I'm about to have to change that. I've been sick for a million days.
Oh, you said that, yeah.
You can't even be an enthusiast of all of the games at once, because if you were, you wouldn't have the time to get good at any one of them.
No, you got to pick one.
Yeah. So you have to pick
this
your.
will be my one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
still
why.
won't be good. I'm not like I used to be when I was young. I used to really dedicate myself. There's just too many games nowadays.
Right.
And it's coming out after Anthem and Division 2, like, which are my really hardcore games. I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did you get on the Division 2 beta?
Yeah, and I played in the Anthem Alpha too.
Okay. Well, you're not allowed to talk about that, right?
I don't care. No, I do. I'm kidding. No, I am in the private beta. I think it's early February, right, for Division.
Yeah, I
Yes.
signed up for something, right? I don't know. Anyway, speaking of games that are never going to come out, EA canceled the Star Wars game. We're going to talk about that real quick because we don't have a lot of time left. Dan and I put together the rundown of our show before the show, and I shared it in the chat, and Bra was like, we couldn't even get to 3 topics. We couldn't even get to 3 topics last week. You think you're going to get to 17? We've gotten through 2 topics now. So
Yeah.
He was right. We were wrong, and that sucks.
I think Dan's 20-minute rant about Souls games.
much longer. Be happy that I curbed my enthusiasm or my hatred for those games. So yeah, this sucks. I fucking love Star Wars.
Mm.
I don't know what I mean. So it was like what was the game before that they canceled? That visceral game 1313.
Yep.
I don't know what that was. I don't know what it was supposed to be. Some kind of bounty hunter game.
Mm-hmm.
But this was supposedly an open world game. I didn't even know they were working on it. So
They just told you just.
yeah,
to
they're
make
just
you
like,
sad.
cancel the Star Wars open world game that we were working on. Who? What? Why? Fucking pieces of crap. Yeah, that sucks because I just keep picturing in my head like a Red Dead Redemption 2 Star Wars game that but it goes to like maybe a little bit smaller in scope,
Mm-hmm.
for like different planets and all this other stuff.
You have to
Maybe,
take care of your tauntaun.
What?
You
What you
have to
saying?
take care of your tauntaun riding around.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just may smell bad, kid.
As long as there's an easy mode.
Right. As long as there's an easy mode.
But we haven't gotten a story-driven Star Wars game in so long.
I don't remember what it was.
They were bad for a while,
Forces.
but once EA got the license, I really thought that this was it. Like we were going to have some really great experiences. We were going to have some. I don't know. We need KOTOR 3.
Yep.
Yes.
We need.
They've had the license for 5 years.
Disney needs to get off their ass and be like, you know what, you guys fucked up.
So we know that Respawn is making a Star Wars game. Was this that, or is theirs still on? Did they announce which developer's game this was?
I have no idea. They didn't say shit.
All I heard was the open world Star Wars game's canceled.
That's all I heard too.
And they didn't even say it themselves. This is being reported on.
Well, they came back out and said something else, that they're working on different other Star Wars games.
Yeah. Because Respawn's working on one along with Titanfall 3, but I don't know what they haven't talked about the scope of it. So I don't know.
Speaking of it being reported, is Jason Schreier inside every video game company at this point? He breaks all of this crazy ass news.
Yeah. I think he's got that reputation, and now he's got the popularity where people follow him to where he's got the in.
Yeah.
Everything that drops, it's like Jason Schreier said, like, oh, well, then I believe it.
It sucks.
Yeah, it's a bummer that they've canceled this game that I didn't really know existed.
Yeah.
It's a bummer that they canceled Amy Hennig's because that's what I wanted, right? Like an Uncharted style Star Wars game with that, like the banter back and forth where you really got to know these characters and live in that world. That's the dream. That's what you want to be able to do. And I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm not a huge fanatic, but I enjoy it, and I really want to experience that again. I'll never forget playing KOTOR 1 and 2, and obviously some of those old SNES games. What was it?
It was the trilogy. It was Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, and Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
they were great.
They were so good, but I don't know. It's a bummer. EA sucks.
Just go with that. They fuck up Anthem. I mean, I'm done with them. I mean, I don't know. They'll come back like a bitch.
You went from I'm done with them to I'll come back in like 4 seconds.
Yeah, literally. Because they have Dragon Age and Mass Effect. That's the problem. They've got those fucking IPs, and I'm just like, God damn it! I stop fucking shit up. You know, they've got so many good games, or so much money to make these games. I mean, it's just, I mean, how many games do they just completely screw the pooch on? Well, Anthem was so cool. You know, they did release all that new footage, and you know, it like, you know, kind of explain them. You know, I still don't know what the hell I'm going to be when I actually pick it up, but it's just,
it looks real good.
It looks so good,
and it plays really well too. I think the glowing light behind Anthem is that it's made by BioWare and the core BioWare team. Yeah. Whereas it's not one of these EA offshoot studios, so I think we may be all right with that one.
Maybe. I haven't seen any of the new Anthem stuff. Is there any hint at story or characterization?
Yeah, the video that went up yesterday, it was not a lot of the story, but it does set the tone, along with the customization of your javelins and a lot of the things you'll be able to put on it, which are really cool. Yeah, it got me excited because I'm a little wary on it, but it got me more excited.
Yeah, go to seasongaming.com. There's a link to the video there.
I'll go to that shit site.
It is pretty.
I will check it out after I watch the Backseat Gaming video.
You can find that there too.
Really?
It's all in one spot for your convenience.
It's a gaming monopoly.
What is happening?
Do we want to
gaming monopolies?
Yeah.
I heard PlayStation sold a shitload of fucking consoles.
Did that?
That's it. That's all I got. 90 minutes. They get that broad laser show thing.
Yeah.
They sold more PlayStations than you shot bullets at walls last night.
That is impressive. I almost emptied my 18 clips in 2 seconds and hit nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this. Do you have time to talk about this, Dan?
A couple minutes. Yeah.
All right. Do you think PlayStation's got this momentum rolling and it's just going to be that easy to roll through the next generation? Are they going to be able to stay on top in the next gen? Or we've kind of seen this thing where each company has bounced back and forth where, okay, well, now Xbox 360 is the big thing. Well, now PS4 is the big thing. So are we bouncing back to Microsoft next time? What does Microsoft need to do to make that happen?
Games, man. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, I know most people buy, and play third-party games. So, I mean, really, people talk about the hardware. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Because, right now, if I had a game, a good example, Ace Combat 7 came out, right? It doesn't look like it's really optimized necessarily for the X. The frame rate, from what I saw, is supposed to be what they tried to. No, it's working.
You went mute there for a second.
Yeah, this fucking thing is a piece of shit. All right. So anyway, so I bought it for the PS4 because I have VR and I want to play the VR missions. So to me, any third-party game right now I'm going to buy on the X normally because I wanted to play with the best hardware that they have out right now. And I don't give a shit who it is.
Xbox.
Yeah, Xbot. That's me. Pony, whatever. But you look at God of War and Spider-Man and Detroit Become Human, and these are all really big, earners for PlayStation and Sony. And I played all of them, and they're amazing games. I can't go back, but I played State of Decay 2 more than any other game on my Xbox last year, which is super weird because people said it was pretty much trash when it came out. But everybody's got their different strokes. Souls like bullshit. Anyway, so to me, it doesn't matter as far as like who's going to win or whatever. I like where Microsoft's going. They obviously bought all the studios and invested in that. They need to come out with some solid games within the next couple of years, and and show something maybe at E3 of what they're doing with all these acquisitions that they have. You can sit there, you can put out the best hardware, and they look like that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to lock down that market, but I don't know. It doesn't matter to me to a certain extent because whatever the best hardware is I'm going to buy it. If the PS5 comes out, at a certain point, and 3 months later the X comes out, I'm going to end up having them both because I have to have the best stuff. I'm just a tech nerd, so it doesn't matter to me. I can get third-party software, on the PlayStation. I've got Monster Hunter on both. I've got probably 7 or 8 games that I own on both systems for some stupid ass reason. So I don't know. I think Microsoft needs to put out some games. I think they need to, continue on this whole, cloud gaming kind of thing. I think there's something there. I don't know what that is, but we'll see. But really, we all win in the end. That competition is great. I want to see what Google, Amazon, what they're going to try to do, and to push these guys even farther. So we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, I think there's just too many variables, and I think the market's changing. We've always looked at kind of consoles sold worldwide. Here's the winner, and I don't really think the market is that way anymore. For instance, the market perception right now is that Xbox is getting destroyed. And if you look at the consoles sold, they are. Sony's well ahead. Switch is selling like hotcakes, as we know. But meanwhile, Xbox posts record profits. They're literally making more money as a brand than they have in their 17-year history. Yeah. So there's many different ways to look at it. I think if you're talking purely about consoles sold worldwide, I don't think Xbox catches Sony potentially ever. And the reason I say that is that Sony has such a better distribution model, and they have such a stranglehold on certain markets, Japan being a big one, of course, but other regions across the world. For Xbox to outsell worldwide the PlayStation, it would have to really dominate the US and UK and Germany and some of the other markets like that nature. But, and they kind of did that with the 360 early on, right? They dominated in the US in particular, the PlayStation 3, because Sony made some mistakes. But overall, when you look at the lifetime sales, guess what? The PlayStation 3 still passed it in the end. And that's just due to all those all those different regions. But I think Microsoft under Phil's direction, or Xbox, they're playing a different game. They don't care about console sold. They're talking about services. Netflix, as an example, and we always go back to Netflix, right? But Netflix doesn't give a shit what TV you're on, what console you're on, what phone you're on. They don't care how you're watching their content. You're watching it, and you're paying for it monthly. That's where Microsoft is going, and I think a lot of people are having trouble wrapping their heads around that. And the fact that 10 years from now, you can buy an Xbox, you can play on your console, sure. You can also play on your iPhone, or you can play on your Android device, or you can play on your PC. They don't give a shit. Pay for their content, play it where you want. It's Xbox branded, but you know what? If Sony wants to run around and say, hey, we sold 100 million consoles, that's great. We all love that. We love our PlayStations. Phil and Xbox, they don't give a shit. They got a $10 billion annual revenue coming in. It's not slowing them down. And I think people are really having trouble with that perspective. Now, all of that said, I agree with Dan that they're opening new studios. They know they have a gap in their game portfolio and studio portfolio, and they're obviously working to close that gap. We'll see what comes of it. So that's definitely important and part of the reason we all play there. But I think they're going to really use that Microsoft muscle going forward. There's a new direction for Microsoft, and I don't think it's going to slow Sony down. I think PlayStation's still going to kill it. But really, I don't think there's this one-to-one head-to-head battle that everyone pictures, Luke versus Vader going on here. That's not what's happening.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
That was kind of a rant. I apologize.
Dan talked about Soulsborne games for 500 years. So you're fine.
I could have went longer.
You will.
That's an almond. I cut myself with an almond during Ains's talk. Just so you know.
Wow.
I did, man. I fucking. Anyway, okay, keep going.
You are a pussy.
Yeah.
That's a good point that enough people don't make. If you look at not even just worldwide, if you look at domestically, Xbox really isn't that far behind PlayStation domestically.
No, they're not.
But what you're saying is true. It doesn't really matter. Any company that's bringing home $10 billion a year doesn't care who the market leader is in consoles sold. They just want to keep that money train rolling. And it's just guys on Twitter that feel the need to, my console is better than, it's like, when are we going to get out of that mindset and just play games we enjoy? I have an Xbox, I have a PS4. I play my PS4 more, and it's not because I care about one more than I care about the other. I just like that story-driven game that tends to come to PlayStation 4 as an exclusive game more. And I don't know. It's ridiculous to me to watch the way people react about gaming news. Like, I don't know. It's like watching Democrats and Republicans, and that's the worst.
It's a my team thing.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
At least then there's a country that hangs in the balance. In this fight, there's literally nothing that you gain or lose based on who wins or lose.
Nah, it's really dumb. It's really dumb. It's really naive. And quite frankly, I'm not trying to put a bunch of people down here, but just a lot of the people who have these conversations, they don't really have experience. I'm going to do it anyway, right? They just don't have experience in a business mindset or a corporate mindset. There's a lot of people, and I'm not saying they need to. I'm just saying that when you're at that level, the people like Sean Layden or Phil Spencer, they don't look at it the same way these console warriors are looking at it. They're looking at very different perspectives. It's all about the financials and reaching people. And both companies are doing that successfully. They're just doing it differently. And the cool thing, I think it's actually a really cool thing, because what we've seen is that all three consoles are successful. No matter what anyone on fucking Twitter says, they're all selling well, they're all making money, and there's shit to play on all of them. So I think that's just fantastic, in my opinion.
Agreed.
All right, so we are about 4 topics shy of finishing off our list. I don't think we're going to get to it. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up and save some of those for next week and throw some of them in the garbage pan.
We did garbage pan?
Nah, it was wrong.
Yeah, I don't even know what the correct thing is.
I'm having a bad word night.
We didn't even get the days gone.
Yeah. I know. I really wanted to talk about that.
Well, let's talk about it next week.
We're going to talk about it next week, but not with Ains. Right. So Ains, real quick.
I'll join you in chat next week for it.
Okay, good. Because I want to know if you're getting the collector's edition. But you
I already pre-ordered it.
All right. Well, there goes the answer. Holy shit.
I'm not even looking forward to the game.
Right. Well,
yeah, anyway.
Let's wrap it up. Ains, where can people find you? What should they go watch or do or read?
Well, definitely give Dan a watch on Backseat Gaming, running around screaming on Resident Evil. That's funny and worth it. Again, appreciate the support for reading my latest article. It's inspired me to get back to writing, so hopefully I'll be more consistent with that in the future. But as always, check out Season Gaming. You can find everything there. Site's been recently redesigned. So I think it's probably, well, I would hope it's the best design we've had yet. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. But all the content's there, and just appreciate everyone checking it out. So thanks again, guys.
Yeah, you can find out about all of the things we talked about tonight on seasongaming.com.
Wait a minute.
This episode brought to you by 2/3 of Season Gaming.
Oh shit.
Dan?
Yeah, check out that Resident Evil video and laugh at me.
And you did a headset video too. Did you already mention that?
I did. Yeah, I think we mentioned that. I did a video on comparing some Xbox headsets. It's on YouTube, also on Season Gaming. Yes.
Dan,
that's gonna be my logo next week.
Dan,
Giant SG.
just going behind you.
Yep. That's it.
We are not paid sponsors. Just putting that out there now.
Yep. It'll be hidden somewhere.
Dan may have sent me some outtakes from that video recording session, and I want it to be on YouTube so bad.
Wait, outtakes from what?
His review session.
Yeah, you didn't see that
Oh,
one?
the headset one?
Yeah, I think I titled the I think it was the title "Fuck You."
I got a text that night, like when you were recording it, and you were like, "This is like the 17th time. I fucking don't know how you guys do this shit."
It just starts with him like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna review what I was doing, but fuck."
We'll have to put it up somewhere.
Yeah, I think
it's worth it.
It would be fantastic. All right,
Sure.
watch us, subscribe to us, please like us. Or downvote us. That's fun too. We haven't had a downvote in a few weeks.
Oh man,
bullshit.
You guys have been clean.
Yeah. I almost feel like something's missing from my life. Also, check out the PlayStation broadcast. I'm on that as well.
Yes.
The goal is to do at least 13 episodes this year so that I can help Bra best his total episodes last year of 12.
You're on your way.
We are. We've done 2 episodes already this year.
It's been fantastic.
Yeah,
last week was we had Craven God back on, and he hasn't been on in like a year, and it was a pretty good episode, I think, until we got assaulted by a Canadian, Nicholas Downey, just a drive-by podcast.
It was the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life.
It was, and Payback's a bitch.
Yeah. Just jumped on there in the middle. I was like 30 or something minutes, 30, 40 minutes in, and all of a sudden you just see this little fucking gaming perspective thing pop up. And then I want to let you finish, but the gaming perspective is much better than the broadcast or something like that. And then that was it. And he's gone.
He was gone, yeah.
I was like, what the fuck just happened? This
I did not see that. That was last week's episode?
Yeah.
I haven't watched last week's yet.
I tweeted about it. You should watch it, but definitely at 37 minutes in, it just like we're just talking about something else and boom, drive-by shooting.
Oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah. All right. So go watch that and whatever.
Buy all the Souls games.
Buy all the Souls games.
Yes. Do that for sure.
I didn't even get to talk about the fact that I'm probably never going to finish Bloodborne, but that's beside the point.
I haven't finished it either. If it makes you feel any better,
it does.
I'm gonna play it tonight.
I just don't have time to get good.
Good.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. This has been Third Wheel Arcade, episode 8. Have a good week.
Yes.
Yes.